what's going on, everybody? It is Wednesday at 9:20, and we're at the coffee break, and I got my man here on this side, Mike Stone from Coastal Cafe.
What's going on?
What's going on, Mike? It's been a good week so far, man.
Yeah, tax week for me, so
Ooh, yeah.
I don't even know what's going on anymore. I've talked to so many people. About to punch a hole in the wall.
You know, do a little Will Smith pop. But none of that talk tonight, guys. We're not going to bring no Will Smith or no. Tonight we're going to be talking. We're going to go back to business. A little bit of news, but it's going to be more about the coffee advertisement. Tonight's our phrase pictures, coffee through pictures. So we got a photographer here tonight, local good friend of mine and Mike's here in Okeechobee. He's going to tell us how how a sip, get a cup, and how a photographer, a picture or a video help sell this product. And then Mike's got the marketing and all that. So these two guys they're gonna inform you a lot of stuff. So let me bring Mr. Rob in right now. So real quick.
Hey guys,
Rob, what is going on?
Hey Rob, what's up?
It's nice to be on the show finally. We've been talking about it forever, but I've got a lot of stuff going on in my personal life, so I haven't had an opportunity really to get on here. So, but it's great.
Yeah, we've been playing on. I know me and Mike. We planned it for like a couple months. We finally got it going, got the show going. It just always, just got all these great ideas and just finally be able to get them. Well, Rob, introduce yourself first. I mean, I got Rob's his website here, Photosmith Photography on YouTube's right behind me. So, and I got his links also in the description, also, guys. But Rob, go ahead and tell about you and your business.
Well, my name is Rob Smith. My name of my photography is Photosmith Photography. Basically, the gist behind that is that going back to the olden days when blacksmiths used to work on armor and things like that. The surname Smith is actually derived from blacksmith. So I just decided that Photosmith, was a great name for my photography because hey, last name Smith. What am I doing? Creating images. So I'm not making real much money right now. I have some jobs lined up, so but I'm still working a 9-to-5 job, basically. And but I have been going to school for like the last couple of years, the New York Institute of Photography. So it's helped out quite a bit, actually.
And check his website out, guys. He does some awesome nature
channel.
Yeah, I watched some of your nature ones. They're pretty incredible. So.
All right, I'm getting there. Like I'm a modest kind of guy. I'm probably my own worst critic, so I think my stuff's okay. But then there's like stuff sometimes I'm like, damn, did I just do that? I'm like, So, but the whole idea behind Photosmith Photography on YouTube was, to showcase these nature walks I was going on. I did it on a whim, basically, and it just blew up from there. And now I love to do them, but money's been tight right now, so I kind of been doing other things, animation and taking photos where I can.
Yeah, especially nature walks too. Like you watch like the Discovery and everything. That's why that channel is so big, is because people love that. I love it.
Yeah,
I'll be up like 2 a.m. watching stuff like that.
And there's some amazing videos of like the stars and the sky with the moon. I've seen that he does a little trail down here by Taylor Creek, and just the sky with the stars and the trees background. It's amazing.
Yeah, I got Neowise there last year. I think it was. No, actually the year before that in 20. I got it there. The moon's one of my favorite things to photograph, of course. And just whatever, nature as a whole, that's what I love to do.
Mhm.
And it's like he sells that picture. It's like, oh, it's like, wow, it makes you at all. I mean, and this is sort of what in photography, and it's not just nature. I know photography goes so much far and beyond that. And like into Mike's field, like he's got his coffee brands, and
Yeah.
photography plays a big role in that. Especially on his videos, his packaging, or different thing, or advertisement. How billboards, or depending on how this one simple cup. It all depends how you angle it. Like if you have steam, different angles, or the color, the texture, different things to sell that product. And as a photographer, the light, and it just, I know this is, you're going to explain more than me, because I get tongue tied on this, but the lighting, just everything has to be just that perfect thing. When we see these commercials on TV or a billboard or something, just that perfect moment. And
they do some amazing stuff nowadays, with photography, with advertisements, and it's some of it's computer aided, it's not all handheld photography. There's some tweaking done there, here and there.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you got to have an idea in mind. You got to have your lighting, a certain way, however you want it. If I was going to shoot like a cup of coffee, say, I would, that's my subject, or the bag of, the coffee, beans. And, I'd get real nice shallow depth of field around it, and lighting just in a certain way, probably side lighting 45, something like that. And, go at it,
Yep.
Not believe it or not, every photo I take is actually a keeper. It's like, photographers on the fly, especially in this type of stuff that I do, it's really hard to have photos every time, and that's the magic of that after sometimes, where you can pull in the Lightroom and tweak your exposure a little bit and things like that. I'm not talking about compositing, they do that in commercials, commercial, field a lot, commercial photography, where they composite things into the image or take things out of the image. I don't do that. What you see is my photo. I might have tweaked it a little bit here and there, but it's genuine,
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the biggest difference between advertisement and actual photography is the amount of tweaking and the technology used in digital media, where they're adding to, taking out, you know what I mean? They're splicing stuff so you can actually animate an entire commercial with not ever really taking one single picture, so, and that kind of annoys me, because I hate it that people can come up with such great content, never having to pick up a camera. And so, because mostly what I do is a lot of, do a lot of filming and imaging and stuff like that. But I have to then upload it to a software, and I will, begin the process of adding to or taking away. So I'm more into the advertising side of it. It's kind of like, and this was like such a huge learning curve for me. I started to ask myself, why do companies like mine in the food retail industry, such as McDonald's, Subway, I'm talking about the large, corporate companies.
Yeah.
Why do they take so much effort when it comes to their advertisements or their billboards and stuff? Because they're trying to get the consumer to remember the best time they were consuming a product like theirs. So if you think about the best steak you've ever had, just think about it for a moment. I remember the best steak I ever had. I was at a steakhouse somewhere in Miami somewhere. It was literally hands down the best filet mignon I've ever had. So every time I see a steak commercial that brings me back to the memory of that steak, they don't have to dish out that quality. They just have to get me to be convinced that their steak is as good as the one I remember. That's what McDonald's does. When you look at their cheeseburgers on the commercial, it is nothing like what you get through the drive-thru, correct? They put pieces of paper, they melt the cheese, the Coke, they spray it with a spray bottle to make it look and they put it with the perfect backdrop and background, and all these little tools that they implement to get you to think of that. And it could have been a childhood moment. It could be, like, for me, McDonald's was a childhood nostalgia. So when I think about cheeseburger, that's why I get that craving. And then when I get it now and as an adult, I'm kind of like, oh, why did I get that? I'm like, dang it, got me again. And so that's the craziest thing about it is advertising. The technology has gotten so good. A lot of it's just digitally constructed in a way that they're really trying to pluck the memory from your brain to get that impulse for you to buy their product. And so Subway does it too. I saw, like, I don't know if you guys used to hear that show called How It's Made, I think Discovery, or no, it's the History Channel. The History Channel premiered. Yeah. It still shows it. It's called How It's Made. They did one on fast food, and I watched it. It was like long, where they're showing Subway or like different behind the scenes where they have all these, probably, like $15,000 to $20,000 cameras, and they're doing all the shots. But then afterwards, once they upload it into the software and they start editing, you start to see, like, the actual product. They're putting cardboard in between the bread. They're increasing the volume of the sound. They're doing like smoke effect to make it look cold. And so like all these little elements, I had to kind of learn at least some of them in order to apply that to my brand. So that's the hardest part. Jason, you're right. Like, sometimes I'll shoot, like, and I'll be like, in my head, I'll be like, okay, this will take 5 minutes. An hour later, after shooting it like so many times and trying to get the perfect backdrop, I'm over flooding the stage, or I'm under flooding the stage, so I can't see the product. So all these things happen, and I'm just like, and I will film sometimes 3 to 4 hours of material to condense it down to 15 seconds. And it's just that sweet fraction of a second that person sees, and they're like, I have to buy his coffee. So it's the perfect angle, the coffee pouring into the cup, the steam coming off the cup, the beans kind of. I sometimes do a scene where the beans are flowing into a pan, like the coffee beans, or they're flowing out of the bag. Yeah. And I did one where it's a 3D image. Well, it's 3D where a coffee bean. It's like my signature thing on my commercials. And it's an explosion of beans, and there's this one bean that comes up, it flips in front of you and falls back down into the pile. That's signature of what, and it took forever to get, because a lot of it's like part of it where the beans are just sitting there is a real shot, but then the rest is all digital animation, and it's just for when the person sees it, they're just kind of like, oh yeah, and they think about the best cup of coffee they've ever had based on imagery, sensory input, and they're just like, now I have to try his coffee. All that work just to get an impulse, Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I know nowadays they're using medium format cameras, or even bigger than that, like to take these images too of like these products, because it's so detailed. It's like 100 megapixel or more.
Yeah.
Megapixel, cameras. They can get right down to like super close and get the details on everything. It's crazy what they do nowadays. It's just, remarkable. Imaging's coming that way, but like you said, some of it's fake though. People don't know.
A lot of it's so fake. Like I tell people when I film a lot, like they ask me, it's like, do you actually use your products when you're filming a commercials? And I'm like, no. Like I buy like the cheapest coffee I brew it correctly, but I buy the cheapest coffee, and I'll buy like just the stock coffee for brewing, because sometimes I'll have to, like today I'm using a new piece of equipment that I'm filming today, so and with all the followers that I have, if I'm not using that piece of equipment right, so there's that element, plus the many times I have to pull a shot of espresso to get the shot right, so I'm pulling like dozens of shots, and I'm going through bags of coffee, and I'm just sitting there like, if this was my product, I'd be out of business. So big companies do that too. You know, they're overhauling through product, and some of the images they have, like if you've ever been to like they used to do that like at this at like Chinese Oriental places, like you come in and they have like the cute counter, and sometimes they have like a little Buddha sitting there, but they have like in a glass container of their desserts and their foods, and it's all plastic, but it's so realistic. Sometimes they'll take the real food and they'll petrify it, but sometimes that's what big companies do. They'll have like a guy who goes and makes the most realistic form of what they're trying to sell, and they just film that so that way they're not constantly having to remake the product. And I was like, that's another thing I'm considering. I'm like, I gotta do something to get like an easy way to just film, you know.
Yeah, because it costs you a lot of money if you're using your own product, you know, because if you especially got to retake and retake and retake them.
Yeah.
It costs them.
What
guys in the chat, like,
oh, go ahead.
I seen food. What's up? I love food. My wife, there's my wife there, and Courtney joined us. Guys, anybody in the chat, if y'all got any questions for Rob, if you got any photography questions or Mike with the coffee, I mean, shoot them away in the chat. We'll be glad to answer them. But like Rob was saying, you on the in school and all that, you learned all them. Like Mike was saying, you have to get the picture and digitally and change your, because but I know most of your stuff is realistic right there. I was watching some of it. You just that bird for just that slight moment, the bird just takes off and flies a certain way and all that. And it's amazing. And like I was saying, I'm gonna play one of your videos here in a little bit. I mean, Rob gets out there. I'm telling you, man, he does a nature walk, and he just finds like a beautiful crane, and it'll just open his way. It's just like the crane knows Rob's coming, and the crane opens his wings up and it flies a certain way.
Damn,
I mean, he's there, and he's there. He's right there for it, and it's amazing. Like on the videos, but
I wish they were all like that.
I know. I mean, I'm sure Rob's been out there for hours, and it's like, crane, show up or nothing. Even the alligator won't even move out of the water. But it just seems like, man, as soon as Rob's out there, man, that crane knows he's coming, or that alligator, he'll sit there and open his mouth or something, and it's amazing.
Well, you remember in episode 3, you remember that you and I, and Lily were out there at the trail, and remember, and I got the crane shot, and some other good shots that night. So. Just you're lucky sometimes, other times you're not, but sometimes you can just make do with what you have and still get shots. I don't know. It's chaotic, but it seems like it's more organized and easier for me than it is like photography with people. That's all.
Exactly.
I've done the weddings, a few. I've done portraits and such, but I'd still like to shoot the animals. And I say shoot a lot, and people are like, what are you killing them? I'm like, no. Photo.
What's up, Sir Walton? Stephen Walton. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, Emily says, how can I forget? Yeah, and a lot of people, it's like, we watch videos, like, oh, they just, happen. Even if people go out in safaris, take these pictures of the lions. Those guys might have been out there for a week trying to get that perfect shot. It's not, them animals, not always they cooperate the way you want them to. And
I'd probably
amazing.
Be there if I didn't have to work a regular job, though, Jason, honestly. If I didn't have to work, 9 to 5 right now, I'd probably be out there all the time,
Yes, relaxing and all that. Yeah.
Seeing the world.
My wife said how he was so close to the mama gator. Yeah, I heard he was almost waiting out there.
4 to 5 feet, maybe. She was staring at me, but I guess she figured I wasn't a threat. But that was crazy. I wouldn't do that again. That was stupid.
Let me see, Rob. I was going to play one of your videos. Let me see where we at here.
Yeah, the whole idea with the YouTube thing is like to, I don't know, try to motivate people, to show them what I do and then try to get people out there and do it themselves, If I motivate one person to do that, inspire them, whatever you want to call it, then I've done, my job is done. So.
Okay. Which one? Let me see, Rob. Which one? Let me see. I got them on your site. Is it showing up? Okay, there it is. Yeah. Okay, which one you think I should play, Rob? I mean, I'm gonna let
the animated vistas are nice. That's photos that I do. And they're like animated. After the fact. But
Okay.
yeah, if you want to show nature with Photosmith, that's fine. Or show
Okay. I got the dragonfly landing. I got got a bunch of different ones.
New Year, New Ventures. If you go to the playlist and go to Nature with Photosmith, or
yeah, I'm right here. I'm right here on your thing. Let me see playlist.
Whichever one you want to play is fine, man.
Okay, let me see.
I would say my bread and butter is Nature with Photosmith, but I do have other things going on. So.
All right, let me see. I don't think I didn't put the music because I know sometimes you might have a little music on. So YouTube doesn't love music for some reason.
Well, when you're streaming, that's weird because
if it's copyrighted, sometimes they'll ding it, man. I've been very surprised, even like some. Yeah, there we go.
It's like a photo walk at the zoo that we did
okay,
or something.
Oh, Palm Beach Zoo. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
All my kids love that. Turtles.
But photography is like anything. It's subjective to people. What one person likes, another person may not like. And it might. You can't dispute the technical aspect of somebody's talent that they have. But if you don't like the photo, you just don't like the photo.
Oh yeah.
That applies to all forms of art. Not just photography. So.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I got my people that like me. I got people that probably don't like me. But that's fine.
People love nature. Because I know I put little short clips of my chickens, and I'm like,
oh wow,
1,000 people watch it. I was like, is this a chicken? I figured, I'm just gonna get my a few people here and there, but people don't know they love these chicken videos or cow videos and stuff. But especially when you do these the alligators and stuff, like when we see me and Mike, we see probably an alligator probably every other day because we're where we live. But somebody like up north has never seen an alligator. They're like, wow, what is this creature? This big, looks like a big lizard. It's like going to bite me. But they don't see that every day. So it's amazing.
Now we live here in Florida. We got a few things that would like to eat us. If we're out there in the wild.
So the iguanas. See, we seeing a lot of them lately now. Oh, that's beautiful.
That thing was the biggest iguana I've seen, man. It had to be 4 feet, pushing 5, and I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah. So that actually wasn't an episode of Nature with Photosmith. That was more like a short because I haven't really had the money. Like I said, it's been money and stuff. I'm going through a divorce and things like that right now. So
let me see. I'm gonna try to find some of them that you walk with. Let me see if this is the right one here.
Oh, so said Yosemite Prairie State Park right there.
Okay, this is the Prairie Park. I probably can. Let me see if it'll.
I use my cell phone, man. I got to get better. I was trying to get a GoPro, but
real nice bright sunny day. I've already got a few opportunities on photos. So, thank you for joining me. Welcome to episode 9 of Nature with Photosmith.
Wow.
And what's cool, Rob? You make it like a little adventure too. You go out there and you make it like a.
I have an idea when I go to a park, or a place, so I try to research a little bit. But there's a lot of things that just, like I said, it's chaotic. Nature, stuff. You have to do things on the fly sometimes, and improv a little bit.
I'll turn the music off. But, yeah, see, like that. See, a lot of people don't see that's swampy. See, a lot of people don't see those these certain birds.
I've only been to the Yosemite Prairie a couple times, and I've seen more with this video than I've been when I was actually there. So that's good. That's really good.
See, Offer said I'm new to Florida. Just moved here in Philly for only predators were only humans. So I'm gonna say you don't see an alligator up in Philadelphia or anything. I mean, even the snakes and stuff. I know out there you got to watch for the moccasins and the rattlesnakes and stuff like that. I mean, I know they got cottonmouth. What's the one snakes they have up north? Copperheads. Copperheads are mostly up there.
I figured out why it's probably popping around like that because my content's 4K or whatever. So, little streaming issue. I mean, you do have a lot of feeds up right there, on this StreamYard right now.
Yeah.
But anyway, I try to like tell about the place that I go to when I go there. If it's not like a named place, if it's just the side of the road somewhere, obviously I can't do that. But if I go to a trail of some sorts or, whatever that's, a recognized place to go to, I'll put information about it, try to educate people on it. And, the animals that are there. And this is hard, though. You think about this. You're out there filming because I don't have a camera crew with me or anything like that. So I'm doing this cell phone right now. And, I'm in between. I'm trying to take shots at wildlife that's flying overhead or scurrying through the bush. So you got to be really on your toes, man. It's
exactly.
It can get hectic. So.
Well, I know when you walk in that alligator trail, that all the camera and all that equipment, I was like, wow, that's heavy equipment having to carry around there and able to get the shots. Stephen Walton said, Kissimmee is only 45 minutes from me. Should I carry a weapon? Well, when you're out, the place where Rob was at right here, I mean, you're out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be wise to have something on you just in case, you never know. I mean, something. I mean, we do have. I don't think we have no black bears in Kissimmee. I think it's on the other,
like Sebring area.
Yeah. I mean, we do have black panther, which you shouldn't kill. But if something attacks you, we do have like there's some bobcats. Well, the snakes are the main thing. You run up on a rattlesnake or something, and you're in the you want to have some kind of something to protect you just in case. But it's always wise because you're out in the middle of nowhere. like there's a long ways from the police or somebody to help you. So it's good to have a little protection on you.
Yeah, I was out at Rob. You probably have been there before. It's Highlands Hammock.
Yeah, beautiful
place. Great place to film too. I had the camera that I have now is cheap Canon, but I also have my iPhone too. So I was standing there. There's the boardwalk that kind of goes over the water, and then once you're done with that, you're back on the ground. So happened to see some birds fly by, so I pulled my camera out, standing there, and it was part of rainy season. So I was standing there, and I felt something like around my shoe, and I was filming. I looked down, and it was this poisonous snake going right over both of my shoes. Into the water, and I was like, okay. All right. Yeah, so it's crazy. Like,
yes, where Rob's at right now, man, it's a long ways from even the main road. I mean, it goes way out there.
Yeah,
sure does.
It's beautiful though. I mean, a lot of people have never seen that before. If you live in a big city all your life, I mean, a lot of people's like, wow, they've never seen that where there's not a house, not a building or anything around. It's just nature. You don't hear nothing. No cars, nothing.
Yeah, when I think of this, I think you must, Rob, are you also a fan of Survivor Man? That show, that guy who goes out and he tries to survive 6 or 7 days, and he goes out and he films.
Oh, Bear Grylls or whatever?
Bear Grylls is one, but the other guy.
Okay. That's cheap.
Yes, Survivor Man. But he goes out and he films by himself, no crew. What would you say is like the hardest thing about going out? Is it the setup? Is it the equipment? What kind of equipment do you use other than the iPhone?
I think, for my cell phone, that's cake. I usually bring a tripod for that. Sometimes and most of the time I'm carrying it. But I got new plans for the format anyway for the show, so hopefully that'll change in coming episodes. But my thing is, if it's really the temperatures, I think I don't have a problem with winter walking. I don't have a problem with insects or snakes potentially, or even gators really, because none of it usually messes with me. Knock on wood, of course. But it's just the heat, man, lugging around the heavy equipment. That's what's killer.
Yeah.
This is at the lake, guys. Lake Okeechobee. I'm
Yeah.
just flipping through a couple of them.
I've only
That-
done some nature stuff, and the hardest thing, because I've eventually got a tripod, and the hardest thing for me is that opportune moment. Like, because I did a film recently, I was outside, and believe it or not, the thing that really screwed me up was it got really windy out of nowhere, and it was affecting my audio. It was actually moving my tripod, and it was pissing me off. And I was like, what do you do in those situations? Like, sometimes you get that 1 in a million shot where you shoot it and you're just like, well, I can't do that again. And then you maybe try to do it again and then you can't. Have you ever had a moment like that?
Oh yeah, like this sunset, this perfect, things coming in, and I'm down there. Like, for example, here, like,
Yeah.
I had to wait a while at the end of the episode to get this sunset photo, and there was star moccasins going by. The bugs were getting really bad. I had to retake the shot, reframe, move, and all kinds of stuff. I don't know, multiple times, but I finally got it. Though it was really annoying, and it's frustrating, but it's part of the work.
Yeah, that's true. I've also had an issue where I was filming and I had to get this stuff done, at least the filming, and I somewhere around 4 p.m. and I was creeping up on 7, but the whole scene had to do with that lighting of the evening. So if I was tripping up on time, and so I was starting to speed up scenes and shots just to get them in because I was losing lighting. I don't know if you ever had that happen before. You're just like, the sun's coming down and you're like, you can't get the shot, and then you try to shoot again, and then before you go, the sun's below the horizon, and you're like, forget it. I think I'll come tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you have a unique scenario that you're never gonna actually have, the opportunity again. At least not like what you wanted or what you saw, So
right.
That passes you by, that really does burn your butt. It frustrates you. But you know what? You love it. You keep going out for another day, and you'll make other beautiful things. Nature always, eventually, gives you what you want.
Yeah, I like how you do. Like, you try to stick with stick with quality of the shot rather than manipulating. You know what I mean? Because I'm finding out, like, even with my TikTok channel, like, I've been doing a lot of things outdoors because the natural lighting gives me a really good shot. So I actually do brewing videos outdoors in my backyard. I have a really beautiful backyard with cool trees, nice foliage and stuff. Yeah. So I've been doing those, really spending time on quality shots, getting the best lighting possible, and getting a really good close-up shot of the brewing on a table outdoors. You can see the background of the trees, the sunlight coming through, and all this cool stuff, kind of like a nature walk. And my views skyrocketed, and everyone keeps saying. And so I'm starting to notice, there is a huge value in taking the time and quality shots, as opposed to somebody who could just sit behind a screen and just animate it all. I think everyone's just sort of getting tired of that, and nature kind of takes people, like, visually takes them away from feeling like they're indoors and like escaping in their mind about being outdoors. And so I was like, I took that element and I was like, every coffee brewing video I see is always behind the same kitchen counter with the same appliances, the same dude doing the same thing, the same pour over. And I'm like, forget it. We're going outside. And I'm the only one who does that. Like, I'm not finding another specialty coffee guy who really does that. So I do funny videos, I do skits outdoors. But even if it's funny, that quality shot is a learning experience.
Yes, it is. Like I was saying before, when we started a little bit early on, I was talking about, how you can, tweak photos and such. I shoot in RAW, because I want a little bit of flexibility. Not to say I want to just totally change my image, but honestly, it doesn't matter how good of a photographer you are. I mean, you could have the skill set. It doesn't matter. Those guys don't shoot perfect photos every time either.
Yeah.
When that bird's moving and your shutter's a little too slow and you get blurred, that can't really be fixed now. But they do have AI programs that try to work around that. But
yeah,
as far as like if my exposure is just a tone too dark or whatever, I'm not gonna lie. I use Lightroom to tweak it, but I don't go and add any elements,
right,
or anything like that. You can't fake what's not there, though, really. Sharpness, if you don't have sharpness, you can't fake that really nowadays.
Yeah,
I use the program, but
yeah, I'm the same here. Like, I try to get the sharpest, cleanest shot, but I mean, maybe you can agree with this. Like, I mean, what would you say for anyone who's viewing, like, what's the most important thing if they're growing a business or maybe wanting to start photography, how important it is to spend quality time getting those shots?
Yeah, it is. I mean, here's the thing with my work, though, honestly, I'm surprised I put some of these photos out there. Like, I'm only happy probably with 20% of my photos. I think they're professional quality. The other 80%, I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, if you're really trying to get a name for yourself, yeah, quality is where it's at. You only show your best work, and you only shoot the best work, and that's how it works.
True.
That's how you're supposed to be.
I think it's kind of like the iceberg effect. It's like I will spend like 80-90% of making all these shots, and then the final product, I'm like, yeah, the final product came out good, but y'all didn't know, like, most of the work involved, I hated it. It was hard. Like, most of the shots didn't come out right. 80% of it I'm not really proud of, but I had a few that I was able to get up on there and maybe edit a little bit and get the shot in to which is the case in point today. I filmed for 4 hours, and it's going to be a production that's only going to be 30 seconds long. 4 hours for 30 seconds. But I mean, that's the name of the game, Yeah,
you're right. It's like, I don't know, man. Just like, I don't like I want to do my best every day, and people don't realize that it doesn't matter if you have a cell phone. It doesn't matter if you have, this Nikon right here, D850. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you have, a medium format camera. Without the tools, the knowledge, and sometimes the eye, you'll be able to do squat. Because they got videos on YouTube. You can look them up. This guy's got the professional camera, it's nice and everything. They think the camera makes everything. No, it's really the person using it.
Yeah, that's true.
The personality. That's what I like about you. You're involved in you shoot back to yourself and you explain what's going on. It ain't just the nature. You're involved into the movie, which is what's awesome about your videos.
I try to tell them, a little bit about me. Sometimes there's some funniness, sometimes there's some awkwardness, and other times there's some cool animals on the screen. But that's about it.
Rob's fun to hang out with, going out doing this. He is really cool. He's like, I lived in Florida all my life, and he's telling me about these birds, and I didn't even know these specific birds, and all. I'm like, wow, I didn't even know that.
I'm still after that bald eagle, man. I want a photo.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Hard when you see him, you never have the camera available. I know I've had the same way. I've seen one right there, driving down. I was like trying to get my cell phone. The thing's already flew away by then.
I was like, I go to work and I'll see these hawks. There's 2 of them, and I'm like, when it was cooler, I was like, hey, maybe I'll bring the camera in the truck to work. And then I was like, nah, I never did. I was worried about the camera, but it's not like a fishing pole. I mean, it is a very expensive piece of equipment. So
yeah.
Rob, I love it. Rob put some animation in there every so often like that when you had the alligator sign where you had the fake alligator come out of the water.
I'll promise that'll get better eventually,
Yeah.
No,
telling a story is really important too. Like, that's what I love about your content is, you frame it in a way that tells a story. I got people in some of my colleagues and some other baristas and there's some guys, they have quite a YouTube channel, maybe some of them got millions of followers and stuff, but when it comes to other platforms where you get a lot more notoriety, especially now TikTok is the #1 platform, so I invest most of my time there because,
Yeah.
so I'm competing against guys and girls that have far better equipment than me. They have a lot more money than me, a lot more exposure than me, but I'm growing at an exponential rate because it's the person involved with the art. It's the expression. And you're right about that because like I got like some videos that are going insanely viral because the people are falling in love with the story, the character, and I might have a few good shots, but it's the story, it's the framework, that's put together by the person that is a critical aspect of what makes good content versus not so good content. So I'll watch content from somebody who has all the nice equipment. They got, hundreds of thousands of dollars equipment, and then the way they do it, I'm just kind of like, that was kind of boring,
Yeah.
And I was like, or I'll watch some things. I'm like, how come that ain't? I mean, I liked it. I'm like, how come that didn't get a lot of views? And then my day is like, because it's the story behind it. It's how you frame it together. So it's the character, it's the attitude. You put in all those things, and it changes it.
Yeah, it really is. Like people, have to find what they're good at. Everybody's good at something.
Right.
We're all creators in some way. So we have to figure out what it is that we need to do, what we want to do that makes us happy and it's fun and it's engaging and it motivates us to keep going. So, I mean, photography, it used to be drawing or other things, but photography is the big thing nowadays. And that's where I want to settle in at. You just have to you stay true to yourself. That's it. When it comes to anything in life, stay true to yourself. And that's, you'll find success in that, I believe.
Yeah, that's true. And I get like, cause I'm still figuring out. So like I'm learning every single day, and I'll still keep learning 20 years from now, but I get asked, I get emailed a lot, be like, hey, what should I do about this and that? I'm just like, hey man, you really gotta you really got to put in the time and effort that it takes, but also your passion in doing it. Like you said, finding what really inspires you, because you can't just wake up every day. That's the thing about your hobby or your career. You can't just wake up every day, thinking about problems you have to solve. You got to go out there. You got to explore. You got to be out there, And I tell people there's a lot of frustrating things I have to deal with just to get the job done for the day. But in those moments where I really feel like I'm adding value to someone's life through my creativity and my exploration and what I love to do, that's I will go through any amount of trouble, to keep doing it. And people see that in the final product. And it really does count. So when I see people wanting to start a business, or they're going into, they sell like a product or something, I'm like, hey, just to let you know, when you put on that business cap, you're also the photographer, you're the editor, you're the actor, you are
the star.
You are the star of your product. It's not you're selling a product, that's true, but you really have to find in your heart like what it is that inspires you, and that's the thing. When I get up, like I'm just doing all these things, I'm working really hard, and people are like, where do you get this drive and this inspiration? I'm like, it's the love of coffee, because I really feel like coffee across the table really opens up conversations in which like I know, like every morning when I get up, I know somebody's making my brand of coffee and not some other brand. That just floors me. I'm starting someone's incredible day with a cup of coffee that they, and that could be for you, Rob. Like somebody could be like, his nature walks. This inspires me to get out, out of my depression or whatever, and get out and go on a walk and experience it. You know what I mean? It inspires me to be artistic, and so and get involved in that way. So like people, I tell people in business, like you really got to put in that time. And some people just don't want to do it. They want the result, but they don't want to, they haven't discovered what it is that inspires them. And I think that's a key element to being good at something,
Yeah, you can't rest on your laurels or whatever you want to call it. You got to keep pushing, yourself, pushing, for what you want. you like you said, your passion is coffee, which is nothing wrong with it because I love me some coffee.
Mhm.
But I love me some photography more though. So, but I gotta have my anti-murder juice in the morning. Probably probably throwing rocks at the birds and such instead of shooting photos.
Yeah.
I was thinking, Rob, I was saying, you're not just a photographer, you're an ambassador for tourism for Okeechobee too. Because I've seen a lot of people say, wow, I want to bring my kids there and see this place, with this nature. Because like I said, a lot of people's never seen this before. I mean, we've been blessed. I mean, we've seen it all our lives because we've been here, but a lot of people see that and like, wow, look at that pond with them alligators and turtles. They don't see that every day. So
Yeah.
I mean, you inspire people, like, wow, let me get out to nature. So look at this guy. He's out there in nature. I want to do that too. Maybe I should go out there and, get the camera out there and see what I can see with the, be the creator and see what I can see out here in this nature.
Yeah.
So it's awesome. I mean, it's so relaxing. Even if you're not just, if you're like you said, you're doing it for a hobby or just relaxing, go out there and it's just you get back to nature, So easy feeling.
That's the problem nowadays. I think we've lost that in as a society. Like we've lost the oneness with each other. But also the oneness with nature.
True.
We are a part of nature. We are children of nature. So I mean. Yeah, if I inspire somebody, they don't have to go out and shoot photos. They don't have to go out and do it. They could ride a bike out there. They can go out and explore, their backyard. Even
Exactly.
matter. Get out there. Life's precious. Time is a short one here on the earth. So get out there and do what makes you happy.
Exactly. And and it inspires people. So people who's like, oh, I don't want to just go walk and exercise. Well, it's like, hey, I can go walk and exercise and look at all this nature, like these trails and stuff you go down. It's like, hey, I hate just walking down the road, but if I'm walking down the road and I see stuff, it inspires me to even exercise and different things. So that's what's so cool about it.
Yeah, it does. It has there's a bunch of facets to it. Things, like I said, it wasn't just to inspire people. About the photography, just getting out there. Enjoy your life. Like I've, here we talk about depression before. I've battled depression my whole life. And this really helps me.
It's a getaway. So this is a getaway.
Mm-hmm.
See, that right there makes me go fishing. Wants me to go fishing right now. I want to get a fishing pole out right now.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you can't fish right there. I know they won't let you, but boy, it makes me want to go grab fish because I know there's some fish right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right on the.
Like our problems don't go away just because we're out walking or shooting photos. But for that time being, though, yeah, they're still there in the background. But for that time being, man, I don't even think about them. I'm out there. I'm focusing
exactly. That's just
the animals. The scenery,
easement,
everything.
An easement to your soul. Yeah, easement to your soul. Yeah.
So. Yeah. Definitely, and a lot of people they appreciate that, and for me that's the goal. Like with I see coffee as an art form. Brewing that perfect cup. I got tons of equipment, and in hopes that by doing one of these videos, somebody will perhaps get involved with the brewing process, or they'll get out of bed and they'll be like, hey, I got the AeroPress 2 last night, or hey, I got my new pour over, and I meet a new friend through social media because of that video production that I put together, and they learn something. And so in that moment, you're right, sometimes it's there, but brewing, and getting and roasting coffee, because I'm a roaster primarily, it puts me in that moment. It kind of takes me back to the simple things in life that I enjoy, and the troubles somewhat go away in that moment. You know what I mean? And if I can somehow convey that through its screen, and then ironically somebody gets up out of the chair and goes and does it because of what they saw, on a screen, and then we connect, and then we become friends, and then we, meet new people in that manner. That's the most powerful thing about it. It's like, that's the passion, and that's what I love about it.
Yeah. I mean, you're motivating people, kind of like figuratively and in the physical sense, because you know, they drink a cup of coffee, man, they're zooming, man. They're going, there's time to go to work, time to go here, you know, whatever. Do what I got to do. So I mean, that's awesome, though, man. I love a good cup of coffee. I ain't gonna lie. So I haven't tried your coffee yet, but I really want to.
Oh, cool, yeah. I've seen so much good film on here, like, and a lot of people, like, if nobody's been to Okeechobee, most people who like search see the like touristy things, you know. But if you actually go out and see the lake and see, like, you see the walk around the lake, and you actually, like, the wildlife we have is incredible. So I find myself, you know, that's the reason why I stay up watching these nature channels sometimes 2 or 3 in the morning, because my body is telling me, screw you. Like, you've been indoors for too long. You've been hiding behind a screen. You need to get out. You need to take a walk. And sometimes I do take my cell phone with me or my camera with me, and I take some shots that are just, you know, personal shots that I saw in that moment. So, like, Okeechobee is phenomenal. Like, it is a great place, you know, to get out and be involved with nature. You know, there's, you know, like,
one can find beauty in anything if they
Those are cypress trees a while ago, wasn't they, Rob?
Yeah.
See, like those, you don't see them every day. You see a lot in Sebring, like certain places, but you don't see a lot of those. I mean, they were.
When they were, you know, constructing Cheddar Creek, you know, stormwater, which, you know, takes, I think, 5 or 10% of the sulfur out of the runoff water that goes into the lake. So they decided that, you know, they would leave that standing section of cypress trees, you know, not destroy it, you know. Which, you know, I don't know if they helped with that or not. I think it's the hydrillas or whatever, all those other plants that are in there. But
it's a rarity. But I mean, and also, Rob, I mean, you're an inspiration to these younger kids and all that, you know, just starting out, and like they see you doing this. So, wow, I could do that too. You know, I can be a photographer. And they'll get their little cameras out. I know my little son, he's now trying to, he's got a little old timey phone, so he'd be out there trying to take pictures of the chickens and the stuff.
Start young, man. It could be great.
And he's like, "Dad, look what I did! I took a picture of the chickens or the dog or something like that." So I was like, cool. So I said, watch these. You know, I try to tell him, watch these nature videos, watch this stuff. You know, instead of watching the Minecraft and stuff. I know people like Minecraft and all that, but I was like, back to natural stuff, realistic stuff and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm not going to hate on the kids that like the video games, you know, but you know, priorities, you know, spend a couple hours outside, you know.
See what the realistic instead of the fake tree. Look at the real tree. I mean, you don't see that
like
I say, you don't see that every day. These
one day you might not, you know, some of the stuff.
I may not. That's the thing.
Yeah,
definitely.
As long as coffee and cameras don't go away, I'm good, man.
So I mean, like our subject, like, you know, photography. You know, that eye. You know, the catching the eye. That's what our whole thing is. This goes back to Mike's thing. You know, how that cup of coffee catches your eye. Just like like watching your video, man. I'm just like, it makes me want to go out there and walk, and especially when you go in by the canals, it makes me want to go fishing right now. I want to go get a fishing pole and get out there and catch some fish. But I mean, that's the same thing. That's what we know about the eye of a coffee. That makes you want, you know, the visual of that coffee makes you want to.
Yeah, I do have a YouTube channel, but it's being reconstructed, like revamped and everything. I don't know if, Jason, you go hop over there. I could show you one of the videos.
Yeah, I would love to see it.
I have one on there called the Japanese Flash Brew, and I have some videos on there that are more, I kind of do some tutorial stuff, but it's mostly just walking you through the steps with music in the background. So it's basically just to pluck, you know, feelings and emotions and that kind of stuff. I decided to do that because the #1 viewed videos on most channels, you know, even YouTube themselves, aren't the tutorials, are the aesthetic videos of just coffee being made, you know, because it's like one of those ultimately satisfying videos where you're just sitting there and you're listening to the music and you're watching this film. So I got into doing that, and it astronomically shot my views up. But that's what I'm reconstructing the YouTube channel to be, mostly that.
I got you.
So I don't know if if you can connect to the Coastal Cafe YouTube channel.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. I'm trying to put it on here. Coastal. Should be able to. Let me see.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the username is Coastal Cafe. It had
Yeah,
a
there
different
it is.
name.
Yeah, let me get it here real quick.
I forgot about that. I changed the username, but there's a couple new videos on there, but probably the best one that's gotten the most views has been the Japanese flash brew. So I kind of take the person through a journey of, without words being spoken, you get to see the process, and it kind of motivates the person to be like, either be relaxed from a very hard, challenging day, and you just sit there and relax and watch it being made, kind of like those videos where you get to see, like the balls falling into the perfect slot, and you're just being, completely satisfied that everything works out perfectly. That's kind of what I do.
Okay, Mike, which one do you want me to show you?
Click on the videos, the video tab.
All right.
And
Japanese flash
yeah,
brew.
Yeah, that one. Ultimately satisfying. It's probably one of my best,
Okay, let me see. Oh, let me get the volume on there.
Yeah, here I'm doing like a Kobomi style pour over, kind of taking you through the process of seeing the brew develop. The flash brew is just ice on the bottom of the container there. This was kind of a hard shot to get because of lighting. This is the thing I'm talking about, like the McDonald's thing. You really if you watch McCafe, and that's my signature thing right there, where the bean comes up and flips. Yeah. Every video ends like that, and it's right in sync with music. So that's what I do is click, right at the change of the music, and I kind of carry you through kind of like this, sultry sort of dance with the coffee. And even though nothing's being explained, you kind of understand, kind of like when you're at the beach and you're going through a hard time in life and you see the waves and everything going and the clouds, you kind of start understanding life a little bit. That's kind of what I want to do with these videos. Is if nobody buys coffee from this, the point is I hope it made you feel better. You know what I mean?
The music and everything, yeah.
Yeah,
I like it, man. It's really well.
I bet you. How long did it take you to make that? Probably took a while, didn't it? Just to get the perfect.
This was probably 5 to 6 hours of filming, because that pour over, right, like those two shots. The first shot because for one, as a barista, the thickness of the foam, the cold foam that I make, determines how it cascades down the cup. So if it's too thick, it's too slow. And, you can manipulate the film by speeding it up, but then when you speed up, it kind of changes things a little bit. So, and how you put the drizzle in the cup. So I want the drizzle in a certain way, so that way you see the perfect cascade and all this other thing. So it was I probably had to clean that cup out. I was actually using these really nice clear glass cups. And I had like 4 or 5 of them. So I had them all prepped. So I was like, I did the pour over for that one, and it didn't go the way I wanted. So I was like, crap, so I got another one, doing it again, and like you said, sometimes the clarity is off, and there's nothing you could really do with fixing the clarity. So the flooding of the light wasn't at the right degree. So the right angle had to be there. And I'm like, why take all this time? It's like, why? Because it's a statement about you. It is. It's a statement about your self-worth. It's a statement about what you want to change in someone's life when they watch it. Exactly. And somebody asked me, they're like, somebody asked me, who's trying to start a business, they're like, do you really spend that much time? Did it really take you? I'm like, yes, it did. It was really hard. But I have a piece of material that is there for a lifetime. You know what I mean?
It's amazing too. Yeah.
And what does that do? It shines a big, light on my business, and this is how much time it takes, but it isn't the work, it's the inspiration, that we talked about. So it's trying to create aesthetic videos. Another one that is good is called Pura Vida.
Okay, let me get to. That's what I was going to ask you.
The Pure Life.
Pure Life.
Yeah, ultimately satisfying. That one.
Which one is it? Right.
Pura Vida, the Pure Life.
Okay, Pura Vida, right here. Okay, this one.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. All right.
I digitally remastered this one, but this is actually in my backyard. So this is another thing. I'm taking you through a journey with minimal explanation. Just kind of explaining one of my coffees. Luckily, I got that shot the first time. Most of them, those are rare shots. I'm like, okay, I'm not doing that again because, But here, I spilled the coffee partly, but I spilled it 6 or 7 times because I'm like, I had to lean over on the table so I was actually holding the camera. Whereas some shots I have it on a tripod. So yeah, so. After so many shots, I'm like, forget it, I'll just leave it the way it is. So, but that's an animated shot right there. It just it's a still, and it kind of brings in the full shot of the lighting from the yard and everything. So I do that's kind of what I've been transitioning. I was doing these long tutorials where it's me and I'm trying to explain it. I wasn't getting a lot of views, and then I did one of these videos that and I will post the same video on Instagram, and one of them got I didn't have many followers at that time, maybe 23, 24 followers, and one of those videos got 7,000 views. So if you're getting if your follow base is like this, but your viewer base is insane, you're doing something right. So I was like, okay, people like this. So it was a big learning curve, and looking myself in the mirror, be like, okay, some of this stuff is just not really working. So I changed a lot of it. Some of these are ad, this is an ad for one of my an old ad that I did. Not very well done, but
I think I've seen this maybe.
Yeah. This was one of my first ads. I was trying to come up with just starting to learn shots, how to get a good shot with good lighting. This is done with different lighting. So,
catch my breath.
Let me see.
Yeah, so there's some good ones there.
Peppermint.
The one with melting chocolate. Oh yeah, that was my live. Yeah, I would.
Oh, that's your live. That's your live.
Yeah. The one with anything that says most satisfying to make the melting chocolate into coffee. The one all the way at bottom left. Yeah, bottom left.
Yeah, okay, right there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. This is when I started getting a little bit better at shots. This was done not too long ago. Some better camera equipment. This is with the Siphon Brewer. This is another one of those films that kind of take you through a journey. Actually, that was a really hard shot, getting the strike of the match. I kept striking it and not getting it in the film properly. This is a Siphon Brewer, basically balance beam kind of thing. And I'm pouring it, and this shot took getting that shot right there. That was really hard. And I went through 3 candy bars, breaking off 2 pieces, and I'm like, all right, because it kept melting weird, and it wouldn't fall in. I was like, I want it to fall in, and I want the tune to right when it drops, the tune of the beat, to go with the tune of the beat. And it's stuff like that. you know, people watching, they're like, "Oh, that was cool," and I'm like, "Do you know how long that?" Like, you know, and stuff like that. You know, I feel like it matters, you know, to put in that kind of time. You know.
Yeah. In the end.
Yeah. But eventually, I'm gonna get some tutorials on there. Where I actually walk. It'll be like 2, 3, maybe up to 5 minute long videos, like actually discussing like how to do these brewing methods. But for now, that's pretty much most of the content on there for now.
Yeah. I was thinking about the same thing too, like, you know, walking people through, you know, the basic of photography and you know, and things like that. But I don't know yet. Like, I got a lot going on right now, so
Yeah.
we'll see what happens in the near future. So.
Like I haven't, like in the last 4 or 5 days, like I'm normally very persistent. I'm like always working on a project or posting something, but like for me, it's like heavy doing taxes and all this other stuff. So I feel like I've been like just a short hour ago was like cramming together some filming, and then before that I was in between 2 file cabinets and going through paperwork. So I haven't really gotten a lot done, you know, business wise. So I know it's life stuff and everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we're getting into that hour mark. It's been a great show. I mean, Rob, man, been awesome, man. I'm so glad we finally got you on here, man. I got you on the intro, but I was like, I got to get the man himself on, man. we've had you on the intro for 2 months. I was like, I got to have the man in here.
Yeah, I know you showed it to me, and I was like, okay, one of these Wednesdays or whatever, and yeah.
And definitely, Rob, we got to get back out there and do a walk again, man. Too. That's always was exciting. Last summer we did that. That was always a fun time. Yeah. And Mike, Mike need to join us, man. Rob is the he's the nature man. He goes out there and man, you walk with him. And he's like, that bird there is, and I'm like, wow, I didn't even know nothing about that bird. And he's like, it's a certain, you know, a certain species. I just thought it was a crane. And Rob's got
I'll bring
exactly what kind of.
I'll bring the coffee. I got a bunch of brewers.
Exactly, man. We'll have the coffee with us on the coffee trail walk. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, always bring like if I'm on a long walk and I'm like, all right, it's gonna be whatever morning or afternoon. I'm like, I'll bring like a French press or something with me with a canister of hot water. I'm like, man, we're doing this.
We'll do a live out. We'll do a live from the trail, man.
Yeah. You can see from my videos, I do a lot of. I do a lot of outdoor stuff. I love outdoor stuff. I feel like that changes everything, you know. Like coffee is supposed to be indoors. I'm like, no, it's not. I'm like, when you have like coffee on a camping trip, it's like the best thing.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
It is the best thing.
What do they think they were doing way before? You know, we had, you know, homes and stuff or things like we do now, you know, like, you know, they were out there drinking it, you know, by the campfire or, you know, hell. You know, it's on the inside thing. I don't drink coffee all day, though. I'll drink it, you know, like in the mornings, you know, and when it's cold. But I do love it, though.
Yeah, I used to drink it like I got pretty bad for a while. Like I'm bad to most standards, you know, but like I pretty much it's a couple cups in the morning and then maybe one in the afternoon or evening. But when I was first going like crazy hard, once I launched the business, I was like sleeping maybe 2 or 3 hours. Like here and there. So it was like it was constantly like guzzling coffee down. That will warp your body and mind. Like, don't do that, people. Just like it's too much.
Yeah.
Too much.
Caffeine tolerance is incredible.
Yeah. And tripping all the time, twitching.
Exactly. So Rob, tell everybody where to find you. Of course, we got the website up here.
I'm
YouTube.
on Facebook under Rob Smith. I also have a group on Facebook called Photosmith Photography. You know, you can join it by asking a few simple questions. They're really not hard to ask you. Do you like nature? Do you like photography? If so, you know, hey, here you go. You know, basically. So I'm on there, Instagram, and of course on YouTube, on Photosmith Photography there. I don't have a custom URL yet because I don't have enough subscribers, but I'll get that eventually. If not,
exactly. And Rob, you did some weddings too. I know I've seen some pictures. You did some weddings and different things.
Yeah, I did it. I did a few weddings for people. Those are free of charge. I won't do free of charge anymore, man. There's just weddings, man, are like They're really intense. I don't know if I even
Mhm.
want to do them, but like portraits and things like that. I've done, some of that for people. And now I got 2 customers lined up, so maybe this is a start. I don't know.
Cool. Definitely. Definitely. If you know Okeechobee area, yeah, check him out. And everywhere else, I mean, if you want some Photoshop, get a hold of Rob, guys. And it's been awesome because I mean, this is I know Mike's been talking about it. We've been like, we do the coffee subjects, but we like to get we want to get other people involved and tie things together. I mean, we're not just talking entertainment. Or we like to help support business here in town and different things, and we try to tie it together, with the coffee theme and the feel, and we feel like we had some good questions, answers about trying to get that perfect shot, and Mike's been doing some hell of a shots too. I know some videos of that the creamer coming down on all that, so and it's really cool and very interesting. So, and then we got to see some awesome nature and different things too. So that's always cool. You drink your cup of coffee and watch some nature videos and stuff and relax.
You don't really think about it. And that's like why I have such a huge appreciation, especially, Rob, your photography and everything, because
awesome.
Because until you actually do it and then you see somebody else's work and you're like, I know the kind of work it takes and dedication and the passion behind it, because like I said, when you're spending hours of work trying to get that shot and trying to get the film in, it's a huge learning curve. So my appreciation is just way up there anytime I meet a photographer. Because I always run into those issues are okay, I have a question or what, I have so if I come up with a project, we'll be talking, who
to talk to, Mike, who to talk to.
That's fine. Yeah, we do have
I was talking to there's this studio that contacted me that wanted me, they said we'll film all this stuff for free to promote our studio, but then they never got back with me. So it's kind of so I'm very finicky. So I'm so if I see somebody who's really into nature and all that kind of stuff, those are the more, because when you're outdoors, filming gets incredibly tough. It's so much more difficult, So my appreciation for those kinds of people is way up there, because until you do it, and people who are into filming or do any kind of photography, they know too. They're just kind of you try to get started and you're just wow, this is a lot harder than just watching it. Yeah, it is.
And Mike, those trails are 2-3 miles, and he goes way out there carrying those heavy and just getting that perfect in the camera. I mean, I have that camera, I'd probably be shaking it. I'll be my head be shaking all it. And Mike's and Rob's just as still as can be, and he just
Oh yeah.
If I did, my head probably be shaking. I look like I'm in
I am so jealous of people who have that kind of skill, because for one, I'm super jittery because I drink coffee a lot. And I was struggling with that today. I was trying to just hold a product and turn it around. And I was like, people are going to think I'm just a psychopath. Cause I'm, thinking I'm just man, and I thought this was just going to be, okay, this will take 2 seconds. Nope. Here I am. I'm okay, sit down, calm down, eat a sandwich. You're shaking like crazy. So yeah, that's another thing we could talk about hours for, but
Exactly. Well, Mike, tell everybody where you find you. And we're just on your website, Coastal Cafe on YouTube, but he has coastalcafe.com, which has the coffee club and everything, and where to order and everything else, right, Mike?
Yeah. So pretty much everything that parts of things you see on YouTube and other platforms, everything's pretty much on that website. So if you click on any product, there's going to be some video attached to it, or I know there's a media section, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff on there. So you could find everything about Coastal Cafe on there.
And I got the description on both their websites on the description here, so you can go click it, boom, go right to the website. And especially Mike's, it's just it goes right to the coastalcafe.com.
Yeah.
So right there, you can go to all in his other links and stuff.
Yeah.
And the coffee club and different things.
Yeah, that's good.
We've got Rob's site down there also. So
some people think it's cafe with a C, but it's with a K. So some people get confused. So just click the link instead
hit the link, right
Google
to
it. Because some people Google it, they're like, "There's no Coastal Cafe."
Yeah,
like, spell with a K. So
exactly, guys, it's been a great show. I appreciate everybody's been in the came in the chat. LDG, my wife was in there. I love food. Mr. Offer came in. Mr. Walton, Courtney, and anybody watched. I seen a couple people came from Facebook. I didn't show who it was, but it was watching on Facebook. So I appreciate anybody. It's a repeat of the stream. Subscribe to these guys. Hit that subscribe button on their YouTube channels. Let's boom their subscriptions up there and check it out, guys. We do a weekly show. Me and Rob, we try to bring us different guests in different times a week, and I love to bring Rob back. I love to bring Rob back in here. And I probably tongue.
It's all good, man.
Yeah, I would love to bring Rob back. In the future, Rob. Man, if you ever have
that'd be cool. Yeah,
it'd be awesome, man. We love to do stuff locally. I mean, I got a couple other people here locally. Me and Mike was trying to get in the future. So just time, and it's just trying to get that perfect time. And everybody's off at the same time, and they're not working or they got things to do and all that. So
yeah, we could probably bring, like, if we did another show like on filming and art, we can have David in here. So we have
David.
And then we could talk about
David's the one I've been doing, but he's been working a lot of hours, and that's what I was trying to get a perfect time. Might be a weekend. Might have to get maybe a possible weekend show or something.
I usually see him maybe once a week, but he's been so busy. Like, I've seen him
a lot of overtime
today, and he looked pretty beat up. He's like, yeah,
yeah.
He hasn't posted.
He was worried. I said, Dave, just come on, man. We'll get you. We'll just tell us about your artwork, man. That's all you got to tell us about, man. Get all that, but yeah, it's been a great. Like I said, it's planning. It's just trying to get that perfect time and all that. Like I said, I've been talking to Rob for like a month ago. I said we just got to get that perfect time, and it was, just we're all be able to get at the same time and all that. So, but yeah, like I said, guys, subscribe to these guys. Let's build them subs up, and I know Mike's working on stuff for new shows, and Rob's probably gonna have some new shows coming out in the future, new streams and shows and stuff. So let's build them subscribers up on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all them different platforms, Twitter. Let's build them up for we get different. We're trying to grow a big community here, guys. So. And when always when we bring new people, and it's just have good time. This is not just entertainment; it was an educational experience for all of us too. So we all learned something. That's the main thing. It's just ain't just talking a bunch of hit this and that. We actually learned stuff today. So that's what's a cool thing about the show also. So and that's what we try to bring a little education to the broadcast. But till next week, guys. Keep drinking that coffee and taking those pictures, guys. See you.
Bye, guys.
All right. Thanks.